Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now September 7th of 2021, and as we get closer to the release of the Book of Boba Fett, a lot of fans are getting more and more excited about the future of Star Wars by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and others. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter, so if you guys want to go ahead and check me out on there, you can follow me at Mike01. So, we're now at a very interesting point. We're getting through the month of September. Once we roll into October, that's when they're going to release the Book of Boba Fett trailer, where they're going to finally give us the first look at the character, and of course what he's going to look like in the actual new installment for Disney+. There will be some very, very minor armor changes to Boba Fett in this series, so just keep that in mind. Very, very minor. Now, everything related to Disney Star Wars moving forward, right? We do know that this November there are going to be a handful of announcements when it comes to new Star Wars TV shows, new Star Wars movies, but we also have Star Wars Celebration to rely on. So Star Wars Celebration is going to be a big convention. It's going to be yet another location or spot, if you will, that's going to unveil all of these new Star Wars TV shows and new Star Wars movies, books, novels, comics, the whole 9 yards. So, for now, a lot of fans, they're looking forward to 3 main TV shows. The Book of Boba, Kenobi, and AHSOKA. Of course, The Mandalorian Season 3 is in there, but I'm talking about a show that's apart from the actual Mandalorian itself. So you got the Book of Boba, you got Kenobi, and you got AHSOKA. Those 3 shows are going to be very much in tune with the Force in their own ways, and we're going to learn more about how it's going to be like that in the Book of Boba once it drops this December. So, with that being said, of course, what's really intriguing about all of this has everything to do with what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are planning for the future of Star Wars. So, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars universe with projects such as Star Wars AHSOKA and even the Book of Boba Fett, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are now beginning to work on The Mandalorian Season 3 for Disney+. It's described that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are beginning to set up something huge for the future of Star Wars that is going to have a major impact on the sequel trilogy, and especially everything to do with the Skywalkers. With Star Wars Celebration happening next year, Disney is getting ready to use that convention to announce this new 3rd batch of TV shows, while this November will be the 2nd batch of announcements. Disney is set to announce a Luke Skywalker-oriented series that is currently dubbed simply as Star Wars Jedi Knight that will follow the story of Luke Skywalker and R2-D2 on their adventures across the galaxy, and falling into confrontations with foes and making connections with new friends that is going to evolve the character. Now, the series is aimed to be very much quest-oriented, and that they are taking notes from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies of how a character goes from point to point to discover new lore, characters, or locations. Now, in addition to all of this new story that Disney is planning to drop on Disney Plus by 2024 or 25 is going to involve the son of Luke Skywalker as well as Mara Jade. The series is set to take place some years after the events of the Mandalorian and AHSOKA series, and will even dive deeper into the characters such as Ben Solo as well. The story is set to focus on the Skywalkers heavily, as well as some familiar foes such as the Knights of Ren, and of course Ren himself as an example. Lucasfilm is also going to be including many villains from Star Wars Legends that once faced Luke Skywalker, and that this is the project that most likely will use the Luke Skywalker clone that was hinted a couple of days ago, and especially with Mount Tantiss now in the Star Wars lore, of course hinted at in Star Wars The Bad Batch. Now, additionally, apart from all of this, it's explained that creator George Lucas is set to actually have creative control alongside Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni on the series that will dive deeper into Luke and Mara Jade's story and the growth of a young Ben Solo as well that will truly satisfy the fandom. Now, Kathleen Kennedy, at no surprise, is said to have tried to call this project off, since she believes that the Skywalkers don't need any more focus in such a way of them having their own TV show, and that Kennedy was also urging that this show could be a failure by Lucasfilm. However, Filoni, Favreau, and Lucas are also going to be making sure that this edition of Star Wars is going to go back to its roots and take heavy inspiration from the books and comics from the 1990s and the 2000s, and will indeed reset many aspects of the sequel trilogy movies by J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson. So, here's one thing that I think a lot of fans need to absolutely be aware of, is that they are trying to expand the Skywalkers in different timelines. We've actually talked about this quite a number of months ago, that this was really happening behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm, and now it's getting closer and closer to a reality. We're going to be learning about this, officially speaking, at Star Wars Celebration, as far as Star Wars Jedi Night goes. So Star Wars Jedi Night is going to be a show that's going to focus primarily on Luke and the characters that are closest to him. And to me, I think that's a very refreshing take on the franchise. Of course, it's going to have a big impact on the sequel trilogy. Let's go over one big example, is that the introduction of Mara Jade being Luke's wife and Luke Skywalker's son coming into the equation. Of course, they have to rename the character, apart from how he was named in Star Wars Legends as Ben Skywalker, because they don't want to get fans confused of that with Ben Solo. Over to the Knights of Ren, alright? If you guys read the comics, and it's pretty apparent and vivid at this point that Lucasfilm is going to be taking some key points from the current canon as well as Star Wars Legends and throwing that both in to Star Wars Jedi Knight. So, the thing about Jedi Knight is that they're focusing on enemies of Luke Skywalker, as well as Luke Skywalker making new friends and connections. And it's going to be very much quest-oriented. So, if you're not quite sure what the quest type of genre is like, it's kind of like watching Pirates of the Caribbean. That's exactly what they're aiming for. You know, you see how Jack Sparrow and his friends go from point A to point B, and, you know, many locations in between, and how they find different types of lore. That's exactly what they're aiming for with the Luke Skywalker show. Of course, not in the same style, in a sense, as Pirates, but that overall format, going from point to point, getting stuck at a point, trying to figure things out, and then getting out of that point. So that's what they're trying to do. A character that keeps on moving, keeps on going through, and they kind of did that with The Mandalorian. I will admit, they kind of did that with The Mandalorian. But they want to do this more so that has to do with Jedi lore and Force-related characters. So in the comics, there is an actual character named Ren, not to be confused with Kylo Ren. This was before Kylo Ren took over as Master of the Knights of Ren. There was an actual character named Ren. And if you guys want to go ahead and look him up, he is in the comics and is indeed killed by Kylo Ren. And Snoke actually watches over Kylo Ren, killing Ren himself. So they're of course trying to incorporate the Knights of Ren back into live action. I can see why. J.J. Abrams, quite a long time ago, himself even said, I would like to see a Knights of Ren oriented story or TV series. Of course, I don't think that was really going to fly. I can't really see them getting their own TV show. Maybe, but now what they're doing is that they're trying to just throw them into this Luke Skywalker TV series, and that to me makes more sense, to tell you guys the truth. That's just my take on things. So I would really like to hear what you have to say about what's to come at Star Wars Celebration, what you think about these major steps that John and Dave are taking, and how a lot of this is going to be announced at Celebration next year, and how it's really going to take over the fandom. It really is. It's going to make the fandom very much happy. So like I say, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.